So how were you received with the tour?
The tour was important, and actually, we actually on some of the spots we discussed divest. That's important. I think that's another one of the major pieces. The divest movement is important because it begins to hit them in the pocketbooks. I'm very proud of organizations such as the foundations. Ellen Dorsey runs Global Wallace Foundation and other foundations who are divesting. I'm very happy to see that now there's I think 400 campuses that are incubating or moving forth with a divestment movement campaign. That's powerful because we're not just going to the sweeps of the streets, but also to Wall Street. And I think that's important because I think those were the effects from the Occupy movement they brought up. But we have to deal with what they're doing on that corporate side. And so it's very encouraging to see the climate movement moving in that direction. I think the next step, though, for us is really to continue to figure out how we can kind of bridge the gap in different communities. What I mean by that, there are lots of communities of color who, when they hear climate change, aren't understanding that that's their issue, so to speak. They think it's not at the top of the list. But when you explain it regarding the pollution, the toxins, the landfills, the power plants, the coash, all those things, and they recognize that literally the high risk of asthma, the high risk of cancer in their communities, and they recognize the same pollution is what's causing climate change, they're outraged. And so the tour we just had, the Act on Climate Tour, did just that. It went out here to communities of color in a unified fashion. It wasn't just people of color, but literally humans coming together to unify a message about what do we got to do to fight, protect our planet for the long term, also for the short term. What do we got to do now to stop our children from getting asthma, our grandparents from getting heat stroke, our moms and dads from getting cancer? What can we do now to do that? And one of those things we talked about on the tour was curbing having higher standards to curb the pollution, knowing what's happening is coming out of those coash power plants. And I think that's one of the things that we're pushing for now as well. So I think there's just a myriad of things that are happening. Protect and Protect, or no KXL, is phenomenal. We've unified around that. I think that we've seen recently that there's been fracking judgments. People are now getting paid because they've been polluted. So recently in Texas, we have the family who just got $3 million, which cannot repay what they received as far as how they've been polluted and toxins. But it's still important that now the polluters are had to pay for their injustice. Mountain removal, there's a huge push in West Virginia and other parts of our country who are unifying around this. Clearly the drought in California and wildfires on the west side is people are getting engaged in this process. And I think that definitely what we're doing now from divestment and also how we're fighting to make sure we have standards in regards to power plants, all these things coming together are unifying a movement to push for that we can truly stop global warming, and most importantly, we can transition from fossil fuels to clean energy.